What if your home and even the food on your plate was quietly sabotaging your health in ways you didn't even imagine? Welcome to the Green Living Now podcast, where we cut through the noise and help you live cleaner, healthier, and more consciously without the overwhelm. I'm Amy Todisco, Green Living mentor, organic farmer, speaker, and holistic health advocate, with over 30 years of experience helping people detox their lives one step at a time. Each week, I bring you powerful conversations, surprising truths, and actionable tips to help you ditch the toxins, embrace sustainable living, and feel your best naturally. What if I told you that there's a healing practice that is older than yoga, more accessible than acupuncture, free, and powerful enough to open your body's energy channels, improve circulation, and support daily wellness, all with your own two hands? In this episode of the Green Living Now podcast, I'm joined by Dr. Greg Yuen to explore Do-In, a simple self-massage technique that is often called self-shiatsu. Rooted in Eastern medicine, Do-In uses gentle stretching, breathing, and self-massage. Dr. Yuen shares his journey from psychiatry to energy practices, and he's going to walk us through this technique with a demonstration so that you can use it right away as you watch and listen to reconnect your mind and body. So let's dive in. Dr. Greg Yuen, welcome to the Green Living Now podcast.
Thank you for having me, Amy. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So I would love to know a little bit about who you are and how you got to be doing the work that you're doing.
Well, it started when I was 12 years old. My grandmother died, and it was quite a situation for me. I was so flustered by it that I ended up deciding to launch onto the path to find longevity, eternal life, immortality, and I've been going on it for over 60 years. So you can tell I was really freaked out.
Wow.
And I feel like I have something that I can offer to people that I think will make a difference in the longevity. But not only that, when just the overall health and promote self-healing. And it is called Do-In Mindful Massage.
If you would spell that for listeners.
Yeah, it's D-O-I-N.
Got it.
Mindful self-massage.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I became a medical doctor. I became a psychiatrist. I'm kind of in retirement now, and I'm promoting Do-In while in my retirement. And I have been a Tai Chi instructor and a licensed massage therapist for over 40 years.
Wow.
Okay. And with that experience, I can tell you that I firmly believe that Do-In mindful self-massage can do better at cultivating the Qi than Tai Chi, Qigong, or yoga. Okay?
That's a profound statement. Yeah.
Well, although this one can help to cultivate the Qi, but
yes.
How I can argue that Do-In is better, so to speak, is when you massage yourself down deep to the bone, you're getting the penetration of Qi to the bone. They say in the Tai Chi classics, where your mind goes, the Qi goes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So although the other disciplines can help you to cultivate Qi, they don't go deep down into your bones. And Do-In is all about that, basically.
Interesting. So I'm curious, because I'm a former massage therapist and polarity therapist, as I talked with you about briefly before we got on here, my understanding of when you go deep down to the bone is like a trigger point therapy. Is that accurate?
You could call it that. I don't necessarily call it that per se, but trigger points are like acupuncture points in a way.
Okay.
So we do employ them in the practice of this Do-In mindful self-massage. Yeah.
Okay. So make the connection for us, if you would. How did you go from psychiatry to this self-massage technique?
Well, I've been teaching Tai Chi for over 40 years. I've been a massage therapist as well. I learned Do-In through a discipline called Macrobiotics. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yes, I have.
Well, if you're into nutrition, you should hear about that.
Yes.
Okay, so
I tried out a little bit. In fact, I worked for a macrobiotic chef when I was younger. I helped her prepare the meals and deliver them for a little while.
Okay. So I became a certified teacher in macrobiotics, and I still use macrobiotic principles in my life. However, I can't say that I'm really macrobiotic per se, because they eat a fair amount of animal intake, to be honest. But they also taught Do-In on the side, if you will. as a
Oh,
adjunct. And Do-In is actually Japanese term for the Chinese term Yin. So it's taken from the Chinese, but it's
oh,
given a Japanese spin. And my version does not include movement exercises in the usual Yin.
okay.
Because I do Tai Chi, we're already doing movement
Yes.
exercises. So that will help cultivating the Qi. I think of like 4 phases of Qi cultivation. The first phase is the bodywork phase. Like I was getting shiatsu treatments from my instructor, and we would exchange weekly for several years. It was great to learn about your body.
Mm,
Then what you can do Do-In is the next phase is self-massage.
mhm,
Then the third phase would be Tai Chi or Qigong, where you're moving. And when you move, you can sort of feel the energy as it courses through your body. And the
mm.
final stage, which is quite an advanced stage, is where you're stationary and you can use your mind to circuit the energy throughout your body. But it
Ooh,
takes, a lot of training to be able to do that. Yeah.
okay.
But it's really all about cultivating the chi, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So you're suggesting then to do all of these things, not just one or the other?
Well, yeah, I think if you haven't had much body therapy or massage therapy, it's a good idea to get to know your body some
Yes.
and then maybe do the Do-In. But a lot of my Do-In students don't have a good course of massage therapy. I occasionally have been doing some what I call chi balancing for them to get a sense of the feeling of chi. So I do
Okay.
that, not a lot of it, but because a lot of times people want to get their massage and they want you to fix them. I'm not really
Mhm.
about fixing people per se. I'm really
Right.
more about helping them to learn how to take care of themselves. So if they
Yes.
experience the chi through some body work, then they can do the Do-In themselves and then move on from there.
Nice.
And then at one point I thought, well, maybe I'm at a stage where I can move the chi in my body. Maybe I don't need to do the rest of it, but I still do. Okay. I still do the other phase,
Okay.
even though I'm kind of in the advanced place myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'm curious what kind of results people are getting from this.
well, I can't say I had like remarkable kind of results where people's illnesses are reversed. I've just been in this business, so to speak, of spreading the word in the past year. They get help with maybe their constipation, their pains here and there.
Hmm.
Sleep is improved. This overall feeling of aliveness and just energy in general. I mean, you can
Hmm.
report that pretty readily. Regular use of this will just bring results. I try to convey that we should do the whole body. Okay. No, we're
Yes.
so much into this partial approach to life. We want the quick fix kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, quick fix and you get a quick off and on result is the way I look at it. Okay.
Right.
When you do the whole body, I call it the principle of the whole. There's a synergy that occurs so that 2 and 2 is greater than 4. You're going to make more use of, like, say, if you massage your arm and you massage your leg, well, you get a sum of that kind of benefit. But if you do your whole body, you'll hit a higher level that is greater than the sum of those parts.
Hmm.
And so I really promote the whole body treatment. And if you do the whole body treatment, you're going to be at a better baseline on your overall health in general. And
Mhm.
then any chronic conditions that you've had are going to be less severe. The symptoms are going to be reduced, or the frequency is reduced, or whenever the episodes occur, the intensity will not be as high. So you're going to get benefits overall with that. And it's all based on Chinese medicine, really.
Right. And so how long does it take to do a session of this self-massage?
Well, I've gotten to a place where I can do it like 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
It may take them some time to get down to that amount of time, but it's doable. It's doable.
Okay.
So
Teaching
consider
people.
this. I'd like to ask the audience, present this question to the audience. Yeah, we're talking about cultivating the chi, and we said where the mind goes, the chi goes, right?
Okay.
They say where the chi goes, the blood goes. You're going to get good
Mm.
circulation. Okay.
Okay.
Good circulation means you're going to get oxygen, you're going to get nutrients to
Mhm.
that point, and you're also going to clear it of toxins, good word that you
Mhm.
use,
Mm.
and carbon dioxide. Okay.
Oh,
So when was the last time that any of your audience has done focused, concentrated attention to every spot of their body?
probably not too many.
And even people that do yoga. I mean, all due respect to yoga teachers, yoga is definitely a good discipline. But
Sure.
when you're doing a stretch, for example, say the warrior pose, okay, this isn't exactly the warrior pose, but you kind of get the idea of the warrior pose.
Yes.
Okay.
Limited as far as being on
You-
Zoom. Yep.
You can stretch. You can stretch. Are you fully mindful of the whole stretch? Is your mind connected fully? All your fingers throughout all of your foot, down all the other arm, down your head, your body. Are you full of chi? Okay. That's
Mm.
what I'm trying to help people get to, is to
Okay.
feel their whole body full of chi, where they can be mindful and let it fill up. Okay.
Cool. Can
So-
you give us a demonstration?
Yeah, we can do a demonstration.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do Do-In on one arm. Okay. One arm, because we're going to compare that arm with the other arm that didn't get the Do-In. Okay. So just start with pressing the sides and tops and bottoms of your finger.
Okay.
So the key is paying attention. You may notice something in your fingers that you never noticed before. Okay. You got to be mindful.
Right.
That's why I emphasize the mindfulness. Okay.
So do all 5?
Yeah, all 5. Okay. And if you have pain in your joints, that could suggest that you have impending arthritis. So that's something good to know ahead of time.
Right.
All right. Okay. Then dig your thumbnail into the tips of your fingers.
Okay. I don't have a lot of nail left because of doing farming.
It's okay.
Into the tips. Okay.
All right. The tips. Okay. Then we're going to address the 6 source points of the hand. Okay. In acupuncture, we have these lines of energy they call the meridians.
Yes.
So these lines of energy are 6 in the arm. Okay. And there is a source point for each meridian that is like the spring from which the river flows or the energy flows. Okay. So we're going to hit those 6 source points. Okay.
Okay.
First one is the large intestine point,
Okay.
and it is in the web between the thumb and the forefinger.
Right in
Web.
here.
In here, right here.
Okay.
Okay. Usually people press that point. It usually is a little bit tender.
Okay.
You think you found it?
It's not feeling too tender, thankfully.
Okay. If you turn it around, maybe like this. Yeah. Maybe go a little further up into the valley there. Yeah.
So
And
a
then you
little
might feel,
higher.
yeah, a little bit higher.
Okay.
Maybe that might, yeah, you feel a little bit more, maybe.
Not too bad.
Okay. Well, then that's good. That's a
Surprising.
good sign. Maybe you're toxin free and maybe that's really good for you. But in
Yeah.
general, most people will hit that point. That
Okay.
point is called the Hoku point, or the large intestine 4 point. It's the command point of the head. So anything related to the head, like pains in your eyes, your ears, runny nose, headache, tooth pain, could maybe benefit from that point. And it's a tonifying point, meaning that it'll kind of energize you. If you're kind of dragging in energy, it can kind of lift you up a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay. Now let's hit the next point, is the triple warmer point. Find your 4th finger and move it up where it hinges here in your wrist. And that's
Okay.
the triple warmer point.
Okay.
Right there, where it hinges in the wrist.
I've heard of the triple warmer because of, what is the woman that teaches a special kind of energy healing that's pretty well known? A blonde woman whose husband, I think, is a psychiatrist, actually. It'll come back to me. So 4th finger into where the wrist bends.
Where the wrist bends, yeah, right
Okay.
there. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Then the next point is the small intestine point. Kind of hold your hand that way. It's on the edge here.
Okay.
Kind of stay with the bone now, around the bone, not so much in the flesh, not in the bone.
Okay. So more on the bone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think if you go around this way, Amy, you can get a better grip when you, press in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be a little tender. How's that feel for you?
Not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to find a tender spot.
Maybe you're in good shape. You're in pretty good
Well, I
shape.
hope so, with my
Yeah.
organic, healthy lifestyle, right?
Okay. Then there's 3 points along the wrist line here. The one
Okay.
under the thumb is the lung point.
Okay.
The middle finger is the pericardium point.
Okay.
And the little finger is the heart point. Then there's a point in the middle of the hand.
Yep.
Is the Lao Gung point, we say. It's
Okay.
the point where healing energy can emit from. If you're doing Qigong therapy, giving energy to others. Then let's rake the back of the hand, back in the valleys here, and then press correspondingly the opposition and the palm.
Oh, okay. On the front.
In the front,
Okay.
press. Okay. Then let's just kind of rest our hand on the side, on our lap or
Okay.
wherever.
Yep.
And let's breathe into our hand and be aware that where we put our awareness is where the chi is going to go. We said where the mind goes, the chi goes. So
Yeah.
you visualize your breath going into your hand, your awareness, and chi going into your hand.
Mm. Feels much more alive than my left hand.
Okay. I love the word alive because
Mm.
this is what can happen when you do your whole body. You're making your whole body
Yes.
more alive, basically, is what it's all about. Okay.
Right.
So that's great.
And
And
so,
the aliveness is the feeling of chi. That
right.
is the feeling of chi. Okay. We forgot to do in the beginning to rub our hands together. Okay.
Oh, to feel the energy.
We rub our hands together.
Yes.
Okay. And you pull them apart. Okay. You do polarity. You should kind of have an easy feeling for this, but you should
Yes.
feel
Yes.
something here. But most
The
people,
heat.
can feel either heat or tingling
Right.
or kind of buzz or whatever. People say energy, magnetism, a lot of different
Right.
words. But the point is that if you practice Tai Chi or yoga or Qigong or Do-In,
Yes.
you can train where you hold your hand out, put your awareness there, and you
Right.
can feel that energy without having to rub it or massage it like we
Mm.
do in Do-In. But in the beginning, to get to know that feeling and train, we do the Do-In. So you get to know
Right.
what the feeling is like. And then you can
Right.
train it with your mind to not have to do the Do-In so much or
Right.
do Tai Chi so much. Yeah. You can just do it.
Interesting. So
Okay.
one thing that occurs to me as we're doing this is because we're using these different acupuncture, acupressure points, you don't have to be able to touch every area of your body, right? Like, in other words,
Mm,
when you're doing a massage for yourself, you're not going to be able to get all these different points in your back and that sort of thing.
not true. In my discipline, we use a
Oh, you
back
have
knob.
tools.
Yeah. So traditionally, the Do-In practitioners did not use the back knobber, but I'm employing
Back
the back knobber.
knobber. Is that what you called it?
The back knobber,
Okay.
BACKNOBBER. Yeah.
Okay.
I employ it to make people more self-reliant. Okay. In the old
I love
days,
that.
the Shiatsu practitioners would pair up with the Do-In practitioners. So the Shiatsu practitioners would work on the Do-In practitioners' backs. Okay.
Oh,
But now with the back knobber, you can work on your back by yourself and
that's
get all the
awesome.
points that you need to. So again, is consistent with the principle of the whole. Get the
Yes.
whole thing. You've got to be able to do the whole thing.
Right. That
So
makes
that's all
total
about.
sense. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you told us
Okay.
about that.
Right.
And
Okay.
where can people get that tool?
You used to be able to get it on Amazon, but now it's more difficult.
Oh,
The Positive Pressure Company has a website
Positive
where,
Pressure
where
Company. All right, I'll put
yeah,
that in the
you can get it
notes
there.
for everyone.
Anybody that takes my workshop, I will send them the tool, and it's coming from my source, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're still working on the arm here. Okay.
Right,
We got a little
exactly.
ways to go. Okay. So on the lower arm, okay, there's like 3 lines of points.
Okay.
You just press like this. Okay. Try to see what's there now. Don't just be pressing. You gotta
Okay.
see what you're feeling.
And am I supposed to be looking for anything in particular or just noticing whatever is there?
See what you get. See what you
Okay.
get. Getting to know your body.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. When you think about it, you're giving love to your body.
Yeah.
Okay. On the other side here.
Oh, I found a
This-
spot that's sore.
Okay. Now we call those goal points. Okay.
Go points.
Why do we gold? G-O-L-D.
Oh,
points.
gold. Okay.
Gold points. Yeah.
Because
I
it
call
tells
them
you
gold
something.
because they're valuable. It
Yes.
means those are the points you need to return to. They're
Okay.
crying out for attention. And
Yeah.
that's why they're very important. It's suggesting that something needs to be balanced in a way. So on the outer aspect of the arm, okay,
Okay.
you're going to give love to all these points, okay? 3 lines. And imagine what happens if you give love to every point in your body. What's your body going to do?
Respond favorably.
It's going to love you back. Most
Right,
likely.
exactly.
It's going to love you back. Then we're going to have a special point. It's called the 3-mile point of the arm. You bend your arm, find the elbow crease, 3 finger breaths below it is the 3-mile point. Okay. I like to press it this way to get
A 3 below the elbow.
three finger breaths below.
Okay.
So here's the elbow
Yeah.
crease, 3 lines, 3
Okay.
breaths, and then right there, press
Okay.
it there. You should
That
feel
one's
something.
that one's a little
Now,
tender.
yeah, that's a key point. That's a key point.
Okay.
It's a tonifying point again.
Okay.
And any pain that you have in your arm, that point could be of benefit. It also can be helpful to any kind of digestive disorders that you have. It's on the large intestine meridian.
Okay.
Okay. Large intestine 10 is the name point. Okay. Now, again, to reemphasize the principle of the whole,
Yes.
did you realize that you have 2 bones in your lower arm? Okay.
Yep.
So did you feel those 2 bones?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're a massage therapist. Maybe you have more
I'm
experience.
not the typical person, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, delineate those 2 bones. And then also anything in between those 2 bones.
Right.
Try to feel what's going on there in between
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
And
Because
I use my arms a lot, especially on the farm.
this is the thing that I take issue with acupuncture is they're only working on the points on these meridians or these
Oh.
lines of energy. Why not the places in between them as well?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing the whole landscape. You're
Right.
only doing the roads. You're not doing all the everything else involved. So we're trying to address that. The principle whole will give you a lot more benefit than just working on these acupuncture points. Okay.
Okay. No offense to acupuncturists.
No, I have all the respect for acupuncture, but here's the thing that I have to say. A good acupuncturist might be able to really deliver a good result. Okay. There's no
Right.
doubt about that. But what I would say about Do-In mindful self-massage is if you're hitting all the points, you
Mm.
got it all covered.
Yeah.
All due respect to acupuncturists, you really don't need to see an acupuncturist if you do it
That's-
regularly.
Well, so it's interesting because I have been to an acupuncturist a few different times for different things. And the most recent was for managing anxiety about flying. And I imagine that what you're teaching us could have helped me quite a bit. But I'm also wondering if having somebody do it for you and the whole relaxation that goes around that, does that not play a role in it?
I would say you just have to find what works for you.
Okay.
You know, it's hard
Yep.
to say. I mean, I just say this is going to be better than that.
Right,
or
right.
like-
Exactly.
But I would
But this
say
is something you can do for free because you can do it for yourself.
right. And what I would say this is that you would have to do regular practice of Do-In for a period of
Yes.
time to get to a level where maybe the fear of flying might not be an issue. Okay.
Oh, so
Uh,
you think that that could work just by doing the Do-In?
Well, you know that tapping, which is using
Yes.
the same dynamics of the
Yes.
energy system of acupuncture to release a lot of emotional issues and PTSD and those kind of anxiety issues, and
Yes.
seems to be getting a pretty good effectiveness. I don't focus on those areas so much, but I'm a psychiatrist, so I
Right.
mean, my feeling about it is if you're, feeling good and within your body,
Right.
there's a lot of things I could say about why this would help you emotionally, because the fear of flying, all due respect, is kind of in your head, kind of
Oh,
speak. You know what I mean?
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it's
in my head.
right?
For a
Okay.
variety
So,
of reasons.
yeah, when you're massaging your body, your mind goes to your body. You're not
Right.
in your head. Okay, so that's
Right,
one
right.
thing that it could make you kind of benefit from. And also
Yes.
being in the present too, it's sort of like, well, you're in the plane, it hasn't crashed yet, but you're already having a fear of it. Being in the present is also what Do-In can do. It brings you to the
Yes.
present. Because if you're not feeling what's going on, which is what you're supposed to be doing, being mindful, this is what mindfulness is all about. The whole movement of mindfulness is being in the present. But
Yes.
this is being in the present in your body. You can be
Mm.
just meditating and being in the present with your
Okay.
kind of psyche. But this
Yes.
is being in your body, which is a whole nother mode, which takes you even much more away from your mind. You're into sensations, okay?
Right.
And that will really reduce your stress if you really get into it,
Right.
do it. Yeah, we're
Right.
not done yet.
Oh,
Let's finish
okay.
up the arm. Okay, then we go to the elbow.
Okay.
And then what I like to do is use the thumb, and there's a lower tendon and an upper tendon to the elbow. So like the thumb on the medial portion of the lower tendon, and then the
Okay.
middle finger on the lateral tendon of the
Okay.
lower. Okay. And then we can move on to the upper tendon, the medial with the thumb, the lateral with the middle finger. Okay. Like
Okay.
that. Okay. Good. And then just the thumb in the elbow, right in the cubital fossa right there. Cubital fossa. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just kind of like rest our arm again and do some breathing into the arm and see what our lower arm feels like.
Mm.
Breath into the lower arm. awareness and Qi flowing into the lower arm. Okay.
It does feel different
Then
than my left
what?
side.
Oh yeah, it's no doubt about it. Wait till we finish the whole arm and we'll see the
Okay.
great finale there. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
then let's move on to the upper arm. Okay.
Okay.
And think of 3 lines of points up here. And I like to press like this with my thumb. Press, 3 lines. All right. And then on the outer aspect.
How hard are you pressing?
Okay, press where you feel something,
Okay,
I mean,
but not to the point of hurting.
Don't hurt yourself. We
Right,
don't want you to hurt yourself. So then there's like 3 lines of points on the outer aspect. And I like to grip it like this. Yeah, grip it.
Boy, I can tell these muscles are sore.
Yeah,
I've
good.
been lifting
You
a
got
bunch
some
of
gold.
things.
You got some gold there. That's
I
good.
got some gold.
Yeah, you've been working in the farm too much.
Probably.
This is where I have a issue with fitness, okay?
And
Nothing
overdoing
wrong-
it, maybe?
Nothing wrong with fitness, but as much as you use your body in your fitness achievements, how much are you giving back to your body? This is an argument that I'm trying to put forth for runners, athletes,
Farmers.
Farmers. I can't imagine you guys are working hard.
Especially.
I'm going to stay away from the farm for me.
Yeah,
man.
it's
I don't want
intense.
I'm a Tai Chi practitioner. I don't want any too much hard work. Just soft.
Yeah. No, we did Tai Chi actually on a cruise and loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're going to just freestyle deep down to the bone. Feel what it's like all the way down to the bone in your upper arm. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to approach the shoulder. And you see it's kind of diagonal here in the shoulder.
Yes.
Right in the middle of that is the lung 1 point. So you want to stab it, go deep into it. Yeah. Press deep into it. Yeah, go deeper. Go in. Yeah, really deep. Then you start to feel something when you go really deep.
I definitely feel that.
Okay, yeah. So that's good. That's where you want it. Okay. Then we're going to do the heart 1 point. Just get your armpit and we're going to stab right in there. Stab it right in there. And you should wake up when you stab it. You're right in there. Press in there. Breath it in.
Okay.
You're still being gentle with yourself. Yeah, faster.
I don't want to scream or anything on this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't scream on the podcast. Just get some stimulation. Wake yourself up. Okay. Then there's a point around the corner here. It's a small intestine point right here.
That's a sore one.
Oh, good. You got gold there. That's great.
Some definite gold.
Good.
Maybe
That's
platinum.
Gold. That's good. Small intestine point. Okay. And then let's just kind of like freestyle, feel the bones and the muscles around the shoulder. Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to kind of, again, rest our arm.
Okay.
Breathing into our whole arm. Qi and awareness into the arm.
Mm.
And now you can compare the full Do-In arm with the other arm that did not get the Do-In.
It's almost like my left arm is asleep, even though it's not, it doesn't feel like it's asleep, but just the difference in the energy is pretty profound.
Yeah. So why are we not doing this to our bodies every day? That's what I'm trying to get people to do,
Yeah. So you said it takes about 20 minutes once you're good at it, but when you first start, how long should it take?
Well, a group workshop is like 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. So that's 2 hours to teach them the sequence.
Okay.
So it really depends on how fast a learner you are, if you follow the sequence and can do the sequence.
Yeah.
And I do have a 1 hour video as well.
Oh, wow.
Available, but I actually don't have it available to your audience yet.
Okay.
It's going to be kind
Stay
of
tuned.
Special. Stay tuned. Yeah.
But you do have a workshop coming up, right?
Yeah.
Saturday, July 12th, you said.
July 12th. Yeah. 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, PST.
Okay. Pacific
on the
Standard.
12th.
So 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So that's 4 to 6 Eastern.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. So in the workshop, we're going to do the whole body.
That's what
you get to experience that. You find some gold points. We're going to teach you all the 12 source points in the body. And you get to really feel the experience of Qi. Get the experience of Qi in the whole body. Yeah. So that's what it's
awesome.
all about.
So I will have the link for that workshop in the show notes so that anybody that's interested can sign up for it.
Yeah. And get the information and all that.
Great. So, so that's a 2 hour. And are you going to provide that video after that workshop is
Yes, I can provide that video. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also they have to let me know where they live when they
Yes.
sign up, so I can send them the back number.
Right.
So they'll have
Right.
it available. You know, I mean, they can get it later, but it's better to
But
have it
admire.
at the workshop. Yeah.
Sure.
So let them do that as well.
Great. So you're learning for 2 hours how to do this whole process for yourself. And is there anything else that folks should know about the workshop?
It's going to be a virtual, so you have
Right.
to. I have to be. It's better if I can see your hands and your feet. You
Right.
know,
So
so I
being on
can
camera on
guide
Zoom is
you. Yeah,
ideal.
so I can guide you, and then dress comfortably so you can have
Yes.
access and you can feel things and all that.
Great.
Other than that, I can't think of anything else
Oh,
really.
I guess one question is are there any contraindications to doing this? Is anybody, with a
Well,
certain condition not?
the most concern is if you're pregnant, then there's some
Mm,
points that it's not so good to press.
okay.
So anybody pregnant should talk to me
Yeah.
first about what points we should avoid and all that type of
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
But other
that's
than
the main
pregnancy, that's
concern.
about it.
That's about the main thing I have concern about. Yeah.
So tell me why you're so passionate about this.
Well, it's so many reasons why. It's drug free. You're into
Right?
that, definitely. It's
Yes.
free, other than you maybe buy the back novel or you get it part of the workshop or whatever, and
Right.
you learn it. Once you learn this, you can do it. The thing about yoga, and I don't have anything against yoga. I do my own
Right.
yoga, to be quite honest. But too often, you go to a yoga class, it's to socialize, really to socialize. And then each time you go, they give you a different set of exercise a lot of times. Now,
Mhm.
what I liked about the hot yoga that I have done, the hot yoga, is they keep the same asanas throughout the whole thing, no
Oh,
matter when you go. At least that was my experience. I haven't gone in a while, and I just did a certain course of it. But I like that because then you get better and better. But a lot of
mhm.
times yoga classes, you go, you do a whole bunch of postures. The next time you go, it's a whole different bunch of postures. So, you didn't
Huh.
know if you improved or whatever. But with
Yeah.
Do-In, when you're doing on a regular basis, every day, the same points, if you do the whole body, okay?
Right.
And I understand that it's difficult sometimes, but if you do your whole body and get to know your body, you're going to know what you need. And it's very unusual what happens. I have situations where I have pain in certain places. I don't know where it came from. It may last for a day and then it's gone. It's like, what was that? Where did it come from? But in the work that I do, I tend not to intellectualize about it so much. Okay.
Mm.
I did one podcast where the podcaster was asking me, like, what causes these imbalances? Why are you having gold points, or why, what? And I tried to explain to him, that's not my concern, really. Okay.
Mm.
Now, in
It's
your
not a
case,
problem
maybe,
to have them, in other words.
well, no, the thing is, in your case, maybe you're trying to determine like what toxins are you taking in, and like,
Mm.
I'm not concerned about that. All I'm concerned is balancing the energies. Okay.
Okay.
Now, that's your job to figure out what toxins and all that. It's not my job. Okay.
Right. Right.
I'm just out to get the energy flowing. But if you do regular Do-In practice, my
Mhm.
belief is that you're going to be able to handle most things that come into your body
Mhm.
and balance it somehow. Okay.
Mm. Is that
I,
because you're putting yourself into a state of balance and strong energy on a regular basis so that that's becomes kind of your status quo or your that's not really the right term, but
well, the basis of it is the body has natural wisdom. This is really
yes.
what natural
Yes.
health is all about.
Right.
Too often, people have a cold and they want to get rid of the symptom. Hey, you have a
Yes.
cold because your body is trying to balance you some way. Don't
Yes.
stop that balancing. If you stop that balancing, your body's not really getting balanced. You're just setting yourself up for a recurring cold or some other kind of thing going on.
Right.
Let yourself blow your nose or have a headache. That's okay.
Yes.
If you do Do-In and you get your energies balanced, see, the natural belief in your body that your body has a wisdom of its own. So
Right.
if you got the chi flowing naturally, circulating throughout, it'll naturally balance to what you need it to be.
Right.
If
So
you
you're
need more,
really
yeah,
yeah,
go
you're
ahead.
really enhancing your body's own healing ability.
Definitely, definitely. Nature is such, it wants to survive. It
Correct.
wants to be at the top form. but you have to kind of give it a little bit of help to get it there.
Oh,
Like eating the right foods and that kind of thing,
right.
not eating the bad stuff, but also, allowing the energies to flow well in your body, getting that
Yes.
flow going. Okay. Because
Yes.
in Chinese medicine, they say most diseases are caused by imbalance in the qi flow or a
Right.
blockage in the qi flow, you know?
Right.
So we're just getting that qi flow to be at optimal in your whole body.
Right. And so some of the things that can cause those imbalances are also emotional, right? Like traumas and
Sure.
beliefs
Sure.
and all those kinds of things. It's not
Sure.
always just a physical thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. No doubt about
Yeah.
that. No doubt at all.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's the characteristic of a holistic system. Okay.
Mm.
In Chinese medicine, the mind and the body are so interconnected. So you have a problem in your body, it's going to show up in your mind. Have a
Mhm.
problem in your mind, it's going to show up in your body.
Right.
That's how it
And it
works.
shows up in the
Chinese
energy
medicine.
system too.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fascinating. Wow. Well, this has been super helpful. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have?
Let me think here. Let me think. No, I think I was able to get in all my quips that I wanted to get in. And the main thing is it's all about becoming mindful of your body, connecting your
Yes.
mind to your body. When you connect your mind to your body, the chi will be available. And
Mm,
when the chi is available throughout your whole body, using the principle of the whole, it'll balance naturally and you're going to reach optimal health. And it can,
awesome.
it helps with self healing, stress reduction, pain reduction, general maintenance, enhancing athletic performance. I'm
Mm,
really trying to promote it to athletes. It's going to
yeah.
improve it's mind body connection. It's just going to be much better. It's going to be more efficient. It's so many benefits from my point of view. I just have not been able to get
Yeah.
people to practice it regularly so we can see those benefits. But to me, it's hard to argue against, I would say, like
Yeah.
get the chi flow, mind body connection. What could make things any better than that?
Right.
And like,
Exactly.
get it going.
Yeah. I think it's a wonderful practice, especially the fact that you can do it yourself. You can do it anytime you want,
Yeah.
whenever you have time
Right.
during the day. So it's not like you have to go to the gym at a certain time.
Yeah.
And you're not popping pills and you're not,
Hmm.
doing all kinds of things that could be detrimental. So I think it's a great idea. I'm going to
Yeah.
start doing it. I got to learn
Yeah.
the rest of it now.
Yeah. Well,
Well, thank you so much. This was a pleasure. It was fascinating. And I love that you did the demo so people could actually see and maybe, work along with us. As we're talking towards the end here, I've been doing my other hand. So I want to balance them
is
too.
it envious? If
It
your
was
hand's feeling
jealous. It was.
neglected, yeah, it's really neglected. I can understand that. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks so much, Amy, and we'll be in touch. All right.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks for tuning in to the Green Living Now podcast. If you are feeling inspired to take steps towards a cleaner, healthier, more sustainable lifestyle, don't miss my free guide, 5 Steps to Ditch Everyday Toxins Without Overwhelm. Inside, you'll get simple, practical swaps to clean up your food, home, and habits without falling down a research rabbit hole or second-guessing every label. Just head over to greenlivingnow.com or click on the link in the show notes, and you can get instant access. If this episode gave you a new insight or fresh perspective, please hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to detox their life and feel better naturally. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and stay green.